Welcome to the Youngstown Lifestyle Podcast, where we try to learn more about the people and opportunities in the Youngstown, Ohio area. Today, my guest is the owner of Rockbook Business Services and recent candidate for Youngstown Council in the 2nd Ward, RaCole Taltoan. We had a great conversation about service in the community and how RaCole approaches her day-to-day with passion and a drive to make her city a better place. So without further delay, let's start the show. Good morning, RaCole. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing great this morning. I took a few minutes before I called just to meditate and get a little deep breathing, and it made me think about that, because I try to do that every morning, set your mind right.
Right.
One of the first things I was going to ask you has to do with, do you have any kind of, rituals or routines that you do to kind of get your mind together in the morning?
I actually do. I like to listen to one specific song every morning before I start my day. It's called Expect Great Things from Priasha Hilliard. And then I try to listen to a motivational speaker, mostly T.D. Jakes. He has a lot of little 10-minute series. And I kind of try to take whatever is going on in my life at that time. I try to listen to that series, that particular topic. And I like to read the Bible. And a while ago, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, it came to me, to just read the Bible from the beginning. So now I take, instead of kind of praying and then asking, help me understand whatever it is that I'm going to read, and randomly opening the Bible to some random verse or chapter, I am reading it in order because it is a book. So I don't know any book that you could open the middle of and read it and understand it fully from the middle to the end. So I'm in the process of reading the Bible from the beginning, and however long that takes, it takes. And that is what I do every morning. And I also listen to Mary, Mary, Go Get It, because every day that I get up, I'm going to get what God has for me for that particular day.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really powerful, power-packed regimen you got there, with between music. And that's one of the things that I had to do, set up for myself. Mine's more just a positive music playlist, songs that kind of make me feel upbeat. Some days I have those days when you kind of get down and I have to pull myself out of that. And, like your Kirk Franklin's, even
right.
Pharrell, because I'm happy, that song will make me feel good some days. But just getting into it a little bit with your work, Rockbook, one of the things that I like about you, because I read a little bit about, did my research as far as what you do and some of the things that you're involved in. And one of the things that I liked is that you're helping people get started and get their finances organized. And I wanted to find out a little bit about your journey as far as how'd you get into finance? Like, how did you get started helping people with their finances?
I got started because I've always, as a kid, loved numbers. I was really great at math, and I was a tax preparer at first. I just started doing taxes. I worked for H&R Block for 9 years. Then I kind of left and tried to do it on my own. Didn't quite work out right. I ended up with Liberty Tax. Thank God for them. They kind of set the stage for me in this area. I had went through some personal issues at that time, and when I went to Liberty Tax, they were okay with where I was at in my own personal journey, and they worked with me through that, and I became the office manager for a local office here in Youngstown. And from there, they developed their managers. And after about 3 years, with all the personal development that they have put into us, I felt like, I could kind of do this on my own. And I just decided at that point, that no matter what I go through, no matter what happens, that I won't stop. I'll just keep on going, and I'll take whatever comes with, becoming an entrepreneur, because you won't learn if you don't fail. So I signed in April of 2016. I had already worked my business. Prior to working with them, we had an agreement that I could work with prior clients, but not new clients. So I took that and I worked it. And in April of that year of 2016, I decided to resign. And there was some hiccups on their end, which was a blessing on mine, to where I didn't have to wait there was a non-compete agreement. And for whatever reason, I didn't sign mine for that year. And when I left them, I was able to go right into doing new clients. And, it just kind of started from there. People would come to me and ask advice, and I would just simply kind of tell them what I did. Cause a lot of the things they were going through, I had already went through. So I just taught them my own process and went from there. And it grew, people start to trust you, trust your word. And when you tell them things and it works, they keep coming back to what works. So
right, yeah.
I thank God.
When you have those positive truths of your own personal experience, especially what you're talking about, having gone through a thing or two, makes it a little bit more interesting to help people. You can teach what you've been through, even like you're saying with the failures. You teach hey, I failed. You don't have to fail this way. Go out there and fail a different way. At least you can take that lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what other services do you guys provide? I think I saw a couple of notes on there that you do some kind of perhaps business planning, or tell me what other services you guys do.
We do small business accounting, we do payroll, we do bookkeeping, and we do income tax preparation. We are in a process right now of adding a CPA. He is working on he is a certified public accountant, but he's just inactive. So he's working on his CPE credits to get back active. And I am currently studying to become an enrolled agent, which is kind of like a tax lawyer where I could represent a lot of my clients in front of the IRS. And we also do some business, I call it special work, but it's just helping other businesses grow, because of where I live, I notice people get excited about starting their own business, and they put a lot of work into it in the beginning, and then they never think about growing it, the growth of it, and what you may need to move forward. So as people started to just rush and create these businesses, and basically what they were just doing was buying and paying for LLCs. And, okay, you have an LLC, but what's next? Do you have a checking account? Do you have a business account? How are you going to pay your taxes? These are things that they never thought of. So when in these conversations, people will be like, oh, I didn't think of that. And I got tired of seeing my people fail because they don't know. So I just did I just offered that as a service because I've been through it. I know it. I know the process. So let's do this together. And I do it with the hopes that you'll grow, and then I'll be your accountant and we can grow together. So that's kind of where it came from. It's just a lack of knowledge that people would have, and the lack of knowledge and the excitement, it put those together. It's not a good formula, and failure is inevitable. If you don't understand what's in between the excitement and actually starting the business. So, I do that. So people come in, we get them started with LLCs, we get their structure, we get them, structurally set up. We help them understand, if what they want to do, should it be a business or a nonprofit? We do business plans. We even create the nonprofits. We've created probably, let me see, I know for sure off the top of my head 3 that I've personally worked with myself. I do have another guy. I think he's done 2. So we've done 5 here as Rockbrook. And I like to say the names of them because I'm proud of the work that I do. We've helped create Just to Succeed, which is a nonprofit here in the city of Youngstown where you can go get free clothes. And they're nice clothes. If you have an interview and you need a nice suit and tie or a dress and shoes, you can go there and get that type of stuff and no one is going to look at you crazy. It's there. And I even go there myself sometimes. I help start City Film School, which is, I don't think he has started it yet, but he is working with various agencies to teach inner city students media and videography, because that's not something that we have access to in this area, and it's not really taught in our school system. Another one that I helped create, which is called United Returning Citizens. That's my baby. I work with Dion Dowdy. She is a really, 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 that's like my best friend in the whole world. And that program, that nonprofit focuses specifically on reentry, and people transitioning. As we started working within this program, we learned that, not only people who come out of prison transition, but people in life in life have transitional points in their life, and they need help through that. So that's what United Returning Citizens is about. And if you go back and do your research there, they're doing some really, really awesome things in the community. The executive director, she was just nominated a Gem in the Valley, so she'll be recognized for that. In August, she's been to several conferences. She works with Legal Aid. She's actually their president. She's worked with them on getting the 5 expungements off of your record. She went and worked with them in Houston with that. So, there's a lot of things that Rockbrook has their hands in that people just really don't know about. And it's just all from the passions that I have within my own being and what I would like for, what I would like to see in my community. I would like people to be able to get jobs and go have nice clothes and, learn different things that you don't otherwise have access to learn. And because we are where we are, it is a reality that a lot of people have records, and that needs to be addressed so that they could move forward and it doesn't stunt their business growth. So those are my three babies that I love, and those are the reasons why I put a lot of time and effort into creating those nonprofits, because it helps the growth of people.
The community. Yeah, the community and the people in it. Yeah, that's, I'm very impressed by that, actually from a self-serving sentiment, because we have a nonprofit that we're interested in as well that we're doing that speaks to what you're talking about. And kind of at the beginning stages, calling it the Crandall House Wellness Center. Just taking a small property in on the north side and repurposing it, trying to do training out of there and teaching and bringing together folks like you're talking about, reentry folks, some veterans, to come together, do landscaping, small engine repairs, sewing, the stuff that we have that's right there within our grasp in the community. And so definitely we can talk off podcast for that for sure, but I definitely would like to talk a little bit more about it, help get us organized with regard to that. But speaking from what you just, what you're talking about as far as community and civic involvement, I know you just ran for the Youngstown City Council in the second ward this past year. And was part of that what drew you into, like, what made you push to want to run for office? Was that what it was, your nonprofit work, or was there something else?
What made me run for city council was the fact that there is a lot of politics in the community. So, in doing some of the work that I do, I noticed that policy was stopping some of the things from happening. So I figured if I could be a part of that process, then I could help my community better. I could be a voice for them. I'm not sure if you're from Youngstown or not, but the particular side of town that I ran for is kind of desolate, and we don't get a lot of opportunity on the east side. People don't want to come over there. It's even hard to even just find a ride if you don't live on that side of town to get home. If you do, if you live there, it's hard for someone else. They don't want to come to the east side. It's dark, it's woods, it's nothing. So, I was looking at it from a political point of view, where if we can get our politics, our the people who are in charge to be a voice. I don't feel like we have a voice. And I said this in front of former councilmen, and I was, after the fact, that, RaCole, you shouldn't have said that because you said that in front of all these councilmen and they've held these jobs. Okay, I understand that, but I don't see what they've done. I don't see it. And I'm not going to be sugarcoating anything because you were a councilman. Take your responsibility and go with that. I don't see anything that benefits my side of town. I don't have a grocery store. I have to go to Boardman or Liberty to go grocery shopping. The little convenience stores that are in my neighborhood, the food is expired. I don't have to live like this because I live here. No. Right. We need to speak up and become a voice and make the people be accountable for what they're doing over here. So that's where that came from. And I did not win, and I thank God for the experience because I learned a few things, and I'll go back at it next year, and I know, not next year, in 3 more years, and I know what the process is. I know what to do, and I wasn't fully committed because I was uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, they say, you level up when you're uncomfortable. But I was in a space where I couldn't get past my uncomfortableness to level up. Mm-hmm. So now I'm in that process of coming out of that, and even doing this podcast is helping because I have a issue with public speaking. Like I'm a behind the scenes kind of person. So I never wanted recognition. Don't show my face. I don't want to be on the news. I don't want to be on TV, but you're running for office. So how are you going to do that, RaCole? So that, after the fact, it helped. So I'm ready, and, whatever is next, whatever God has for me next, I'm still going to always fight for my community, specifically the east side of Youngstown, specifically the second ward, until God takes his last breath out of my body.
I feel like you should drop the mic.
If I had one, I would.
But no, what you're talking about, it's one of those things that I've seen, not just in I guess it comes from the bottom all the way to the top. That's some of the things that I see reflected in some of the national politics that makes me a little frustrated sometimes, is the lack of accountability, the lack of people who want to do for people, a positive change for people. It's, that's one of those things that kind of bothers me with, for instance, with Flint. Everybody should be mad as hell that the water isn't fixed there. It's like, how do you keep moving forward doing anything else when the water is messed up there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not fixed yet. You know what I mean? That type of thing just seems that you and I can agree on that, but at some point, somewhere down the line, there's someone that gets into a position of power, that gets into a position of government or something, where it's not that simple, it's not that cut and dry, that if something's wrong, you fix it. If something's not right, you do the right thing with it. And it's like we need more people like yourself elevated with that same mentality to replace people who are thinking in terms of, you know, corporations and corporate folks instead of the people that actually are the backbone of this country. Black, white, yellow, Asian, everything help this country. And it doesn't matter what color you are. It matters what kind of person you are.
You are, and what you can do to help.
Right. So what's been your greatest success professionally as far as, you know, like over the last few years? Like, what's been the greatest thing that you can point to and say, I did this and this is, you know, my achievement?
My greatest success, I could say, let's see, would be just Rockbrook within itself. We have grown since where we at, since 2019. I started this company in 2011 in my home. To say honestly, I wasn't fully committed for some time. I was in and out. I treated it seasonal because, like I said, I started off as a tax preparer. Probably around about 2013, I would say I had an experience, a personal experience, and it just made me look at things a little different. And I'll just say it. I keep saying a personal experience, but I'll just say it because it could help somebody else. But I tried to commit suicide January 17th of 2013, dealing with some of my own personal struggles. And from that day to this one, every day God has showed me why I did not die on that day. So I just take one day at a time, and I put all my focus into Rockbrook. We came from, like I said, my home. From my home, I was introduced to a business incubator. I was in there for about 2 years, I think. I think I left there in 17. Yes. So we went from home incubator, and we're located in downtown, where they say it's the place to be if you're in Youngstown. I still say it's the east side, but I digress. But the growth of my company, the fact that I have to go buy more filing cabinets is awesome. People don't look at that, but for me that is growth, because I started with a half a filing cabinet and maybe 6 clients, and now I have 4 drawer filing cabinets, and I have to go get another one. So that shows growth to me, and I appreciate and I'm thankful and I thank God for that. And I just ask that, you know, He keep His hand over me, my mind, and continue the success and allow me to learn along the way and teach and help.
Okay. What's been your biggest challenge?
The people.
The
people.
Yeah.
When, as far as that area, for my business, the challenge, it's the people. It's the people. Just this area in which I live, I can't speak for any other area, but within the Youngstown area, there's a business. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not really great with words, but there's a business sense, the way people think business-wise. They want a discount. They think you should do something for free. They don't have to pay so much. And then
they expect full service. with that
Yes.
free, that,
yes.
yeah.
So
like excellent AAA service for little to no
for
money.
nothing. Like I was listening to a friend of mine the other day. She had made a post. She does hair. And she was like, I don't understand, how do y'all think y'all get something for free? She was like, I didn't go to school for free. My products are not free. My time is not free. My booth rent is not free. So why do you think you get something for free? So that mentality, along with people not understanding business and their mindset of how it should go. Like I have another person, we were talking about credit one day and I was telling her, how important credit is if you're going to have a business. And she hit me with, God got me. If it was meant for me to have good credit, he'll make me have good credit. And I just was like, right. And I didn't.
Did you hit it with that one? Was it faith without works is no
is
faith?
Dead? No, because I wasn't there yet. So if it ever came back, I would definitely hit her with it. But at that time, I didn't know that word but I knew what she was saying was crazy. I'm like, God, credit, okay, he'll bless you. But like, he sent doctors for a reason. If you don't go to the doctor, you ain't gonna never see what's wrong. So it's just things like that, the mindset of people, and to try to get them to understand why you set standards that you set is hard. It's hard.
I think doing something like this and pointing to it and having them listen can start the process too. Doing more podcasts, more interviews, just communicating, what it is you guys are about. And because I'm going to be honest, I get into that mindset too. I mean, I'm not a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination. And I touched on it earlier with the meditating and stuff like that. And there's days when I feel, like I can look at myself objectively from the outside and say, I feel like I heard this expression the other day, feel like the woman with two hams underneath each arm, lamenting the fact that she doesn't have any bread. I was like, I ain't got no bread, but I got all this ham. That's how I feel some days. And it's like I can turn around the next day when I'm not in that same frame of mind. It's like, how can you even get to this place? And it takes every day. It's like a different type of fight that you gotta have. Sometimes you fight with yourself. And that's the hardest fight of all. Shoot.
Yes.
I don't care what somebody gonna come in the door with. It's me.
Man. With myself is worse.
Yes. Everything you got to throw at me, I've thrown 10 times more, and I know exactly how to hurt my feelings. So
Right. True.
But moving forward, what do you see as the most important thing any one of us can do to improve, like, for instance, the city of Youngstown and the community on a day-to-day level? If you had to boil it down to just one action or one thing that you think that we as a people, not just me or you, but just everybody need to do this thing on a day-to-day level to kind of improve where we're at?
I think what would help this community, what help us personally, is if each and every single person is accountable for the job that they are required to do and their own personal life. I think things would be a lot better. I think things fall off and things don't happen or are accountable for what they're responsible. And when you're not accountable for it, you don't care. And when something happens, okay, happened. I don't care. But if we all if you're just looking at, I'm just talking city, if you start from the mayor to the man under the bridge, if every person in between was accountable for exactly what they are supposed to do, their responsibilities, their work, things would be so much better. The man might not even be under the bridge.
Yeah, that's well said. Well said. Accountability, and and just being, what do you call that? I can't think of what it is now either, but just that accountability to one another. That's one of the things that I work on every day as well.
I like clarity and I like accountability. And I have a friend, she say all the time, and if she listens to this, she gonna crack up laughing. But she say all the time, if it ain't clear, it ain't so.
That is good. That is a good turn of phrase. If it ain't clear, it ain't so.
If it ain't clear, it ain't so.
That's true. You know, getting on the same page with people, communicating, and making sure that, you know, the thing that you say you want to do is the actual thing you want to do. You know, and then following through on it.
And that's it.
Well, I definitely want to have another one of these talks with you to get a little bit deeper, but our time's limited this morning. I wanted to ask you one more question, a little off topic. What's your favorite comfort food that you to make for yourself or for your family? Your favorite comfort food?
It's lasagna.
Is there any specialty to it, or is there like some kind of special things you do to your lasagna that makes it stand out?
No, I don't think so. I like a little extra cheese, but I think that's a lot of people. I use a lot of I use a lot of different cheeses. But no, nothing special. Nothing special. It's just my favorite food.
Well, that's what makes it special, you know. Well, I'm a personal fan of the extra cheese too, but I'm always trying to get some kind of special extra ingredient or whatever to try out myself. So that's why I asked that way. Anyway, I really appreciate you spending some time with me this morning, and I look forward to talking with you a little bit more, especially about some of the nonprofit stuff that Matt and I want to do. Over on Crandall. And I'm glad it went well. You said that you guys had a nice talk last night together, so I'm glad that went well as well.
Yes, very informative.
But thank you, and I'm going to post this, and I'll make sure to include your 3 babies, your nonprofits, in the materials for this podcast so that you can show some love and shine a little light on those organizations as well.
All right. Are we still recording?
We are still recording, but now we are officially done. Now we're done.
Okay.